was a preview from the up-and-coming documentary, Capsim, starring 4 Kelly students trying to make it or break it. We have the directors of the company with us today. Meet Patricia, Rick, Daniela, and Ariel. Welcome to the show, guys.
Ariel, can you tell us about your company's mission, vision, and values?
Well, our mission is to deliver unmatched electronic sensors through the use of lean manufacturing, total quality management, and automation. We are committed to customer satisfaction and our dedication to have an unrivaled market share. And our vision is through the analysis of trends and the ability to gain nourishment from our competitors' mistakes. We are en route to cut costs and become the #1 supplier of electronic sensors to our target markets of low, high, performance, and size. In striving to create long-term customer relationships, we will be a fast-moving organization improving products and adapting to changing markets. Our values consist of being reliable, innovative, responsible, responsive, and continuous improvement.
Rick, would you mind telling us about your company's core competencies?
Well, if I had to pick something, I'd say we fared well in financial structure. Although we received a huge loan from Big Al, we were able to recover and consistently score high on the analyst report for this category.
Tell us about your organization and decision-making processes.
Sure. Our managers are knowledgeable about their segments and understand that collaboration is important, which enables the team to build good relationships and work for the common good of the organization. They also understand their duties and responsibilities, and they have a high sense of urgency in identifying solutions to any problems encountered by the organization. These practices allow us for the continuous improvement of our company's effectiveness. We are able to utilize Adobe Connect to accommodate our travel schedules. Each director is responsible for completing a thorough analysis of their industry prior to each executive meeting. They also had to briefly analyze all of the segments of the industry and prepare questions and suggestions for the other directors that were ultimately in charge of these sectors.
Daniela, why don't you tell me a little bit about what gives you a competitive advantage?
Well, we developed the ability to provide products that satisfy the customer's demands and allow the company to earn decent profit margins. We excel at customer service by focusing on matching customers' wants and needs in each category to each product in the segments. Each year, we successfully met customer buying criteria, which was illustrated in our balanced scorecard by a perfect score year after year. Rick, which market segments did you decide to focus on?
Well, we decided to compete in 4 different markets, including low-end, high-end, performance, and size. We decided to drop out of the traditional segment.
Could you go into more detail about your product evolution and development?
Sure. As far as the high-end, we had high hopes for this segment, but the competition was fierce. After our mistake in the second year, our main focus turned toward the need of the customers. We focused on R&D and a quality product, but we fell behind in our plant improvements and our margins suffered in the segment because of it.
In the low-end segment, we had 2 products, and by the end of the 8th year, we ended up with the highest market share in the segment. Over the course of the first 7 years, we had the lowest price while maintaining tremendous margins.
When it comes to the performance segment, we initially felt that many of our competitors would drop out of this segment because of the slow returns on their investments. So far, we have done fairly well. However, our margins could still use some improvement. We recently added a new product in this segment, and we are very confident it will be successful.
As for the size segment, we were disappointed that issues in financing kept us from bringing a new product into this segment. We faced some challenges early on and never quite recovered from it. We continue to innovate our product to remain competitive and have future plans to add a new product when we have the finances.
Could you give me some detail about your customer awareness and service?
Sure. Our marketing department worked really well. They were able to keep costs at a minimum while still remaining competitive in customer awareness and accessibility. Our main strategy is to focus on customer satisfaction in order to achieve overall market share in our industry.
Patricia, can you tell me about your forecasting with regards to sales, production, and inventory?
Well, You know what? I'd rather discuss another topic.
Ariel, please tell me about your competitive awareness and any adjustments made.
The competition in our industry is really fierce. There are a couple of big players who gain an edge early on, but other than that, we were fairly successful at predicting the moves of our competitors thus far.
Ariel, you recently had a confrontation with a couple of news reporters. Do you care to elaborate on that?
Ariel, John Smith from Fox 59 News. Care to comment on your balanced scorecard?
Get that camera out of my face!
My legal counsel has advised me not to comment at this point.
Daniela, let me hear more about the 3 most difficult or frustrating tasks that you found.
Not having enough money, definitely. When we had issues early on, our bond rating dropped dramatically, making it hard to get the finances we needed. Also, there was the forecasting. It was hard to predict our sales, so we are still perfecting our method. And of course, waiting around for the end of the year reports. Patricia, what were the 3 biggest disappointments during the course of these 8 years?
Well, one of them was definitely stock price. Next, I would have to say emergency loan. And lastly, I would have to say margins.
Rick, what are the 3 decisions you'd like to do over?
Well, we definitely wish we would have focused more on the balanced scorecard at year 1 rather than year 7. Also, we shouldn't have dropped out of the traditional segment, especially since our strategy was to achieve the highest overall market share. In retrospect, it doesn't make sense to drop out of the second largest segment. Finally, don't overprice your products. Never push your customers over their limit. We never quite recovered from the catastrophe we experienced in round 2 when we priced our high-end product $4.69 over the maximum price customers were willing to pay.
Ariel, what will you take away from this?
Focus on strategy. If you keep it simple and always refer back to it, you are more likely to be successful. Also, always follow the Wendelin rule.
And what exactly is the Wendelin rule?
Always match long-term assets with long-term debt.